Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to part 23 of where I show all my vinyl records, and we're currently in the third part of the female artist, female band section, and there's only one more of those to go before we go on to the compilations and soundtracks. So we're up to the letter N, and so we'll start off with Just Newton and Take Heart. And this has got a really nice version of Lay Back in the Arms of Someone, which was a big hit for Smokey. I went through a bit of a Just Newton phase about 3 years ago, and I bought an awful lot of her albums dead cheap. This is probably her most famous one, Just Newton, and it has Angel of the Morning on it and All I Have to Do Is Dream. This one here is Quiet Lies, and I actually remember this in the shops at the time. This must have been about 1982 or so, because it's got Love's Been a Little Bit Hard on Me, and I remember seeing the single as well in this shop. I used to work in a record shop. This one here is Dirty Looks, and this is more of an 80s sounding album, but it's still not a bad album. All these Just Newton albums are decent. This one here is Can't Wait All Night. I think that's a really nice cover, so I do. Again, decent album. And this one here I think is a gorgeous cover, and this is Old Flame, and I'm not too sure when this is from. If I can see it, it's about 85 or so. So yeah, all decent albums. Olivia Newton-John and her debut album, and this is the one with If Not For You and Banks of the Ohio one. It helped me make it through the night in a station. If Me and Bobby McGee, really good album. This one here is Olivia, and this one includes Angel of the Morning on it as well, but not as good as the Just Newton version. And Music Makes My Day, and this is the one with Take Me Home Country Roads and Amaroos on it, although Kiki D's version of Amaroos is better. This here I think is an American only album, and it's If You Love Me Let Me Know, and it's decent. I think some of the tracks were on different albums in the UK. Have You Ever Been Mellow? Again, a decent sort of album, pop country, and I think the title track is the big one off this. I think it was a huge hit in America actually. Olivia from I think it's 78 or 79, and this is the one with the brilliant A Little More Love on it. Absolutely love that track. The big one is Physical with the title track and Landslide and Make a Move on Me. Olivia's Greatest Hits, which is a very good album, but there's about 18 tracks on this, and I wish it was over a double album. And it takes in all the songs, like the country and the pop songs. This is Soul Kiss, which I picked up for next to nothing, and it's not a great album at all. I remember it at the time as well. Stevie Nicks' Belladonna with Stop Dragging My Heart Around, her debut solo album. Stevie Nicks' The Wild Heart, and this is the one with Stand Back on it, my all time favourite Stevie solo song. And this is Rock a Little, and this has got I Can't Wait on it and Is It Talk to Me. It's okay, it's very 80s in sound. Stevie Nicks' The Other Side of the Mirror, and this is not a bad album. There's one track in particular I really like off this called Fire Burning, which opens side 2. Rooms on Fire is the big hit off this. I think that's her biggest UK solo single. Okay, now we're going into a serious guilty pleasure here, and I've got quite a few. And this is the Singing Nolans. Now, as you can see, they're all very young. I'm actually fascinated by the Nolans. I don't think they're brilliant, but I just love their story. And this next one is the Nolans, and this is like a compilation of all those very early recordings. This one here was very difficult to get, and it's worth a few quid, not that much, like, but it's the Nolan Sisters, and I believe this was only ever issued at gigs in the mid-70s, and you know, it's okay. The Nolan Sisters' Giant Hits. Now this is not a compilation, this is a full album, and they're just all cover versions, and again they're fine. Their story is so fascinating though, how they started off. This is probably their first album proper, and this is the Nolan Sisters, and it's actually on the hype sticker it says features a single Spirit, Body and Soul, so this must have been an early one, because the huge hit off this was I'm in the Mood for Dancing. And now Making Waves, now this is their most successful album, and this is really, really good. It's got to Pull Myself Together, Don't Make Waves, Who's Gonna Rock You Now, and Attention to Me. But Sexy Music is absolutely brilliant track as well. I think it won some sort of award in Japan, that track. Portrait, and again this is not bad. It's got Don't Love Me Too Hard on it and Chemistry. Decent album. And then probably the only one I ever need, but I do enjoy all the albums, and this is the greatest hits, and this is all the hits. This is an abomination. This is Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and this is from around 1984-85, and it is tacky, and it's just medleys of recent hits. They weren't very popular at the time, even though they did get on Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. Tenderly, and this is quite a rare album as well, and this is actually very good. It's got a lot of sort of traditional type songs, and it just shows how good vocalists they are. Bernie, unfortunately she's passed away, was the best singer of the lot though. Okay, Hazel O'Connor and Breaking Glass, soundtrack from the film, and this is absolutely fantastic with Eighth Day, Will You, Give Me an Inch, Writings on the Wall. Really strong album. Hazel O'Connor and Sons and Lovers, and this is a pretty good album as well, though it didn't do as good, and it's got D-Days on it, although this is not the single version of D-Days. I like them both, but I do prefer the single version. Hazel O'Connor again, and Cover Plus, and doesn't that look like Bowie's Scary Monsters? Yeah, this has got the brilliant Cover Plus, We've All Grown Up, an absolutely fantastic track, and they do a good cover of the Stranglers, Hanging Around on it. It's a decent album. Hazel O'Connor and Smile, and this is from around 1984, and Cuts Too Deep I think was the only half hit off this. It's not a bad album, it's getting a little bit more 80s in sound. Yoko Ono, Season of Glass, and this is actually not too bad, but I just don't like that cover. I think it's, you know, showing those glasses with the blood stain on it. I just think it's just not nice at all. Dolly Parton and Greatest Hits, and yeah, that's pretty good. It's just the greatest hits. Everybody likes a bit of Dolly Parton. The Pointer Sisters in Black and White, and this has got Slow Hand on it, which I think is an absolutely magnificent single. Pointer Sisters, the best of, Jump. So it's got all the hit singles like Jump for My Love, Automatic, Slow Hand Again, I'm So Excited, and I Need You, which is one of my favourites. It's a bit like Slow Hand. Silly Sisters, Maddie Pryor and June Tabor, and this is sort of Englishy folk. Doesn't look it, it looks more disco, but it's not. Obviously Maddie Pryor is from Steel Eye Span. Susie Quattro, and this is the Record Store Day version of her debut album with 48 Crash on it, but this has got an extra LP in it, so you've got Rolling Stone and a lot of the B-sides, and All Shook Up is a really good version, and Glycerine Queen is a great track. And this one is the original UK version of the album on the Rack label. We have Saturday Night Special, and this is the Australian version of this album, and it adds Can the Can and I think Rolling Stone as well, so there's a few extra tracks on it. Quattro with the Wild One, but it's not the single version of the Wild One, it's completely different, and Too Big, and the best song off this is Savage Silk. Susie Quattro and Your Mama Won't Like Me, and this is more a funky album with a bit off more than I Can Chew, and the title track is really, really good. It's a grower. I didn't like it at the start. And this is Agoraphobia, and the single off this was Tear Me Apart. You also get Heartbreak Hotel and a version of Steve Harley's Make Me Smile, and it's actually not a bad version. This one here is a Record Store Day version, and it's live and kicking, and it's a double live album, and it is very, very good indeed. If you knew Susie, very good album with If You Can't Give Me Love on it, Don't Change My Luck, and The Race Is On. But the best one, I think, is Susie and Other Four-Letter Words, and this has got She's in Love with You, I've Never Been in Love, and Mama's Boy, a very, very strong album. Suzi Quatro's Greatest Hits, a must have. This is brilliant. It's got 14 tracks of it and really, really good. Rock Hard from 1980 with the title track, Glad All Over, and State of Mind. Lipstick sounds a little bit like M's pop music, but it's a really good song. This is a really good album, Main Attraction. One half of it sounds like Suzi Quatro and the other half sounds like 80s different pop music, even bits of like the Human League and all, but you've got Heart of Stone in this, Cheap Shot, Main Attraction, very, very good album. This one is Unreleased Emotion, and I think this was supposed to come out in the 80s. It didn't, but it's actually a very high quality album. Annie Get Your Gun, and this is from the stage musical, and it's not very good. I don't like it at all, really. This here is The Wild One, The Greatest Hits, and this has got 16 songs off it, and it's really, really good as well. This was actually the first comp I bought of Suzi at the time when it came out. This is a Record Store Day One, and it's Back to the Drive by Suzi Quatro, and this is magnificent. This is Quatro, Scott and Powell. Now you think this would be brilliant because it's Suzi Quatro, Andy Scott of The Sweet and Don Powell of Slade, but it's not a great album at all. It's maybe a little bit too heavy for me. No Control, good double album, and the LP has got extra tracks, and she does a version of Bob Dylan's Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat. That's a decent album. This one is The Devil in Me, and this from a couple of years ago, and yet again this is not bad either, it's not fantastic. This one here is Uncovered, and this is basically cover versions, 6-track, it's like an extended EP, so you get Bad Moon Rising, I Feel the Earth Move, Walking the Dog, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. It's decent. And this one here is Suzi Quatro and KT Tunstall, and I don't have anything else of KT Tunstall, but this here I enjoyed a lot. It took me a little bit of a while to get used to it, but really enjoyed it. Linda Ronstadt and Simple Dreams, it's okay, nothing special. Linda Ronstadt, Greatest Hits, yeah, good album. Not a huge Linda Ronstadt fan though. Rose Royce, Greatest Hits, and this is the one with Car Wash on it, and this is in every cheapy box in every record shop in the world. Okay, and Sade, Diamond Life. Okay, it's okay, it's got Smooth Operator on it and Your Love Is King. It's alright. A lot of people really think it's a brilliant album. I don't, it's just okay. Sandy Shaw, Puppet on a String, cheap compilation of some of the singles. Sandy Shaw, Golden Hour presents Sandy Shaw's Greatest Hits, and it's an hour's worth of hit singles. 20 Golden Pieces by Sandy Shaw, and again this is some of the later 60s singles and some of the LP tracks, and this is one of the first Sandy Shaw albums I ever bought. Actually I got it in Tower Records in London, remember that. And Hello Angel, Sandy Shaw, and this was one from I think either the late 80s or the early 90s. The Shirelles, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, nice comp of the girl group. Carly Simon, Coming Around Again, not a brilliant album, but I absolutely love the title track. Sister Sledge, and this is Greatest Hits, and this is really good, especially the ones that are done by Chic, like Lost in Music, Thinking of You, He's the Greatest Dancer, We Are Family, very good album. Grace Slick and Dreams, and this was a 50p album, and this is nothing spectacular at all. Patti Smith, Horses, yeah, this is okay, this takes a bit of getting used to. Redondo Beach is the most well known song off this, and a version of Gloria, the Van Morrison song, but yeah, it's decent. Radio Ethiopia. I actually think this is a more accessible album and I enjoyed it more than Horses. And Easter, and this is the one with Because the Night on it, and apart from that I didn't really like this album at all. Britney Spears' Greatest Hits, My Prerogative. I think it is really, really good. Dusty Springfield Greatest Hits. Yeah, very good. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, I Only Want to Be With You. Son of a Preacher Man, can't go wrong. Very good. Dusty Springfield and Reputation. I think this is the one with Pet Shop Boys in it. I'm not sure, but I picked this up for 99p and it's rubbish actually. And Lisa Stansfield and Affection. And this is got All Around the World on it, which I used to detest with a passion. I absolutely hated that song, but I actually quite like it now. Whenever I heard it on Fever Pitch, I sort of grown to like it, and when this was going for about £1.50, I thought I'll pick it up. It's alright, it's nothing special. Candy Staton, Young Hearts Run Free, and I love the title track, and the rest of the album is okay, and this was VCLT from James Griffiths. Barbra Streisand and Guilty, and this is an absolutely magnificent album with Woman in Love, Run Wild, and the beautiful, beautiful Love Inside. Barbra Streisand Greatest Hits and More, which I bought for Woman in Love, so I got this one before Guilty, and it's okay, it's not bad. And we go on to Donna Summer now, and I think the rest of these are Donna Summer. So TC, this is for you, and it's Love to Love You Baby, with the huge version of Love to Love You Baby all inside one. I love Trilogy, which I think is my favourite Donna Summer album, and it certainly has my favourite Donna Summer track on it, Try Me, I Know We Can Make It, and it takes up the whole of side one as well. There's an edited version of that on the Greatest Hits, and I love it too. Four Seasons of Love, which I think is a great album. Yep. And then we have I Remember Yesterday, which I think is really good as well, and I like the whole concept of this, where it goes through the ages with the music. So you get like 50s rock and roll with Love's Unkind, and then you get the futuristic with I Feel Love. The Greatest Hits of Donna Summer, I can't even remember getting this, but yeah, it is very good. It's an early Greatest Hits. Once Upon a Time, another really good album. I'm not sure of what's on this, the title track, and I Love You, I think was one of the biggest ones off this. Another double album. Bad Girls, another double album, and yeah, this has got hot stuff on it. Dim All the Lights, Bad Girls, really good. Sunset People, I think, is on this as well. Excellent album. Now this is brilliant, and this is Greatest Hits on the Radio, volumes 1 and 2, and this is one of the best hits album you could get. Now all the songs are segued into each other, but it works so well, and this was really my introduction on vinyl to Donna Summer. This one's a little bit out of sync here, and it's Live and More, and yeah, it's good, and it's got MacArthur Park on it, which is a studio version. This one here is A Slight Disappointment with The Wanderer, and this was the first for her new label Geffen, and this has got Cool Love off it, and The Wanderer itself, it's okay, it's not bad, it's not brilliant though. Donna Summer, and I think this got a Record Store Day issue in the last couple of years, and The Woman in Me, I think maybe was the first single off this. But the big one here was State of Independence, her version of the John Vangelis track. Her version is the best, without a doubt. Maybe it was just State of Independence that got Record Store Day, actually, come to think of it. She Works Hard for the Money, and this has got Musical Youth on it with Unconditional Love, and the title track, it's okay. And the last one for today, and this is Another Place and Time. And this is the one which is basically stock Eggman and Waterman, and I don't really like it, to be honest with you. I always said that Donna Summer in the 70s was brilliant, in the early 80s she was okay, and then after that I had no interest. Okay, that's me for now, and the last of the female artists will be coming very soon. All the best now. Bye bye.